Good evening, race fans, and welcome to race number 1 of the OSRL Summer ARCA series, presented by Split Second Broadcasting. I'm Hunter Brittle, alongside my good friend Ross Brockman, here to call all the action of tonight's 80-lap event here at Michigan International Speedway, where, like I said, we kick off the first of a 4-race summer series, in which Ross, we've got a couple different interesting notes about this, or well, not notes, but rather rules about this one that's going to set it apart from most of your little short series that you see on iRacing here. This one involves all the ARCA cars, meaning the three brand new ARCA cars that that currently run in NASCAR, and the legacy car. So that will be an interesting comparison to see in tonight's event. It appears we have six. Having trouble counting. 6 legacy ARCA cars going up against the brand new shiny ARCA Menards, Camrys, SSs, and Fusions. So that will be interesting to watch. And the winner of the race, if they drive a legacy car, will receive a $5 bonus. So if the old hats can take out the new kids, they've got some extra cash coming their way. And Ross, I think it's an interesting concept. I'm excited to see how it plays out. How about you?
Yeah, for sure. I think at Michigan with these type of cars, I think we're gonna see a very kind of super speedway style race. We'll see how that goes. I think you're gonna maybe need some help with the draft because these cars are just a little bit slowed down, compared to some of the bigger stock cars you'd see racing at Michigan. So 80 laps with a kind of just like an ARCA race, like a halftime break. So I think that'll be kind of interesting. I think 2 sets of tires. So, tires matter a little bit here at Michigan. So it'll be interesting to see what strategies they decide. But just looking through this field, basically, a lot of the regulars from OSRL, and I'm excited to see these guys go at it for some fun.
Certainly going to be a good time. And while you were talking there, I just thought about something. We were talking about the differences between the old and new cars. What I'm interested to see, because you said that we expect a super speedway style race here tonight. I'm expecting some bump drafting from the new gen cars, but those old ARCA cars, as everybody well knows, you can't do that in those cars. It will just pick the rear end up of those cars and spin you one way or the other. So the bump drafting at this 2-mile speedway will definitely be something to watch as we go through this 80-lap event here with, important to note, a 40-lap competition caution. So effectively making it 2 duels, but ultimately it is 1 race overall with a fun flag there right in the middle of it to bunch everybody back up in the event that we have something go wrong.
And I think 17 cars. This is probably something that you're gonna have a fairly clean race tonight, just because it's a smaller group, as they're all checking their pit stalls, see where their pit stalls are. That's kind of nice to know. I usually don't find out where my pit stall is until the first pit stop of a green flag pit stop. But it's nice that these guys get that opportunity to check, make sure they know where to go, and up and down pit road, and get back behind the pace car here. But yeah, with the smaller group here, I think that a lot of clean racers in this group. Hopefully, we keep it green for a while, and who knows, you might see a little bit of spread out, and we see a lot of times at Michigan, a lot of different series where you can kind of almost like work together a little bit and pull away. So maybe 2 or 3 cars can kind of pull away from the group. We'll see. It'll be fun to watch.
As the field makes its way down the back straightaway, let's take you through the field real quick before they hit the green flag here. Cole Freilich will be leading the field to the green flag in that number 15 car, with Jack Painter to his outside in the 97. Madeline Roten in the number 60 car lines up in 3rd. Luke Breitschoff lines up in 4th. Harry Grindell will start 5th. John Felber 6th. Tristan Baker 7th. Nathan Kiani 8th. Austin Mongold 9th. Isaac Johnson 10th. Shane Sweeney, William Schmidt 11th and 12th respectively. Mo Perry and Trey Patton make up 13th and 14th. Adam J. Harrington is in 15th, and Griffin Jones and John Daniels will round out the field. Pace car is down and away. Cole Freilich has the field in his control. He's looking for that green flag as they head through the restart zone. Green flags in the air. We are racing in Michigan in the first of the OSRL ARCA Summer Series. Cole Freilich holds sole control over the lead, but don't look now. Here comes Madeline Roten there on the inside in the 60 car. Now they're going to make it a 2x2 train all the way back to that looks to be 6th, where Nathan Kiani is in a sandwich there in the middle there for 3rd. Now they get it sorted out as Isaac Johnson slings around the outside and goes up to 6th. Lap 1 completed here in Michigan.
Pretty orderly start, basically kind of 2 lanes, and then it didn't take long to get 3 wide here and battling for 3rd. I feel like the top seems to be with these slower cars maybe the place to be right now. You saw Freilich, Painter, they both were able to kind of get single filed out as the top 2 just by running that top lane through 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and kind of getting away now.
Yep, Freilich dominates that bottom lane now. Jack Painter takes the 2nd spot. He will have control of the double file ranking that goes back behind him there with Isaac Johnson. Now moves into 3rd past Roten there on the outside. So move the 33 up to the 3 spot, and he is going to try and take that fight to the leaders there after starting 10th just 3 laps ago.
Yeah, it seems like these 3 wide battles, like you kind of can't really get away from each other, and now they figure out one 3 wide battle, and then somebody else starts another one. As here comes Painter, he's going to look to the outside of Freilich. We're going to go 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah, Isaac Johnson taking it to the leaders here. He gets past Jack Painter, now looking for the lead off of turn number 4, all over Freilich's bumper here, giving him a bump draft down the front straightaway. Doesn't make the move yet as they head off into turn number 1, stays in line with Freilich, and he knows Freilich's the one to beat here. Just in this league in general, so I can't blame him for sticking with him. But here comes Jack Painter now on the inside, trying to take that spot back. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway.
And Isaac Johnson fastest on the last 2 laps of this pack right now as far as fast laps. So I don't know if there's a ability for if you're Freilich, you get the lead. Can you save a little bit of tire here? Can you use up there might be a little bit to that if you're Isaac Johnson here. You get back to 2nd, and then maybe you used up a little bit of tire, you want to back off a little bit, but right now just getting a push right now from Madeline Roten right down this. He's going to look to the inside of Freilich.
Down to the inside goes Isaac Johnson looking for the lead. Freilich wraps the top side. Johnson's not going to clear him this time. They're going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Look at the run that Freilich's got. Move him back to the lead, and Isaac Johnson's going back nowhere. I thought the 13 of John Felber was going to take him 3 wide. He just elects to give him the bump down the back straightaway and into 3, so they'll be side by side when they get into 3 and 4. Freilich is back to the lead here, and Ross, I was just thinking while you were talking, this so reminds me of the old footage from the IROC series back in the day where they used to run those spec cars where they were dicing it up, especially at Michigan too. There was a big highlight there between Dale Jr. and his dad. I believe it was at this racetrack where they come across the line side by side. This looks identical to that.
Yeah, it looks like you kind of notice that. I think it's going to be more and more as you go here, but that outside lane has kind of the momentum, and when you're down on the bottom, you can make passes, which is nice to be able to just drive by people if you get a run. But then on the exit, you just kind of don't have as much momentum as the guys on the top. So we see Freilich using the bottom in 3 and 4, and that seems to work for him if he gets somebody right behind him down the straightaways. But a lot of these guys, I think you got to get up towards the top here to get the momentum going to really just hold your position. Almost like defense is up top, offense is on the bottom.
And the top 3 here, I was going to say they're on a defensive-offensive move here, but Jack Painter has thought that he wants to get back to 2nd spot, is now Madeline Roten down to the inside and will lose multiple spots now as Felber's up in front, and now here comes the 92 of Austin Mongold. First time we've spoken his name tonight. He wants some of this action up here in the front as Isaac Johnson has now dropped way back into the 5th spot.
Mongold's been basically running that top, like I was saying, just waiting for these drivers to, as Painter's now going to go for the lead. Freilich got really high in 1 and 2, but yeah, just being able to use that top lane, you can kind of maybe slowly just leapfrog the drivers that are maybe being a little more aggressive on that bottom lane, as Freilich's going to try to get back to Painter's side on the outside now.
Painter through the blocks, and Cole Freilich went right back up to that outside lane that's been working so well for him, and now he's challenging once again for the lead. They're going to be door-to-door off of turn number 4 here when they get down to the stripe. I believe Freilich's going to have the advantage, but they're 3 wide back there behind him with the 51 of Tristan Baker has now entered the party.
And Freilich and Painter kind of got connected there, like side draft, and it really slowed both of their momentum down. So Johnson's going to look to the inside. Man, Mongold going to sneak up there. Oh, this is going to get really tight here.
Ooh, contact. Everyone staves it now as they get back on the gas here. Freilich scoots out to a little bit of an advantage, and here comes Nathan Kiani. Look at the run he's got with the 56 of Luke Breitschoff on his rear end.
Just, it shows how much momentum matters when you see any of these drivers have any incidents or, trade any paint. It just slows down the whole kind of group, and they lose a bunch of ground. So it's just trying to keep momentum up, and if you battle at all, man, these are some tight 3-wide battles mid-pack.
Yeah, you really have to pick and choose your battles, but like you said, with the momentum, as now Isaac Johnson's up in the wall, he's going to lose 2 spots, make it 3, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, as the entire field is now going by here. The 92 of Austin Mongold cuts him a break there and lets him slot back in line. But as I was saying, yeah, you have to either pick your battles or take the ones that you get given with the sheer amount of momentum and the sheer importance of it here at this 2-mile racetrack with these cars that don't have a whole lot of horsepower in relative comparison to a lot of the other cars that you see racing at Michigan International Speedway. As Isaac Johnson's again up in the wall here, and once again the 92 cuts him a break. So some good racecraft work there between the two of them to keep this thing green. As now that's Madeline Roten and Cole Freilich are now battling up here for the lead as they've pulled away from this little group here.
And Roten kind of got a push from Felbar, got all the way up to the lead, and Freilich was like, "Yeah, you're not keeping that. I'm going to take it right back," and just took a 3 and 4 to grab it back. Freilich's been just wanted to kind of control this race. I don't blame him. It's a mess back here from third on back, and these drivers they keep getting up even higher. I think you want to get more momentum, but you get too high, a lane or two off of the wall, and it's just there's nothing up there. And we've seen Isaac Johnson get in the wall a couple times and lose momentum, but it's it's kind of spread out. You got the 2 leaders, and then 3rd, 4th, and 5th kind of getting away from the rest of the pack right now.
Here the pack comes off of turn number 4. Freilich now with the advantage, wrapping the top side there, carrying that momentum down the front straightaway, will lead lap number 13 of this 80-lap event here. Let's take a look back at the legacy ARCA car drivers being led by William Schmidt. They are just now coming into turn number 4, so opportunities for a $5 spoiler are not looking good here tonight in this one. I wasn't expecting such a stark difference between the old ARCA car and the new, but here we are, and it might be a long night for those guys at the back of the field.
This is where, strategy, I don't know, there's not much for strategy with a race that has a break in the middle. So I it looks like to me, I would think that you can make this potentially. I don't know. We'll have to see how far they can go. But yeah, that's going to be the only thing there. I don't know if I thought maybe, obviously they all kind of qualified in the back, but you wonder if that changes something just with the fact that you're already slower, but then, do you lose the draft pretty easier in that car? I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be a little tough for them to get back up here. They'll have that break to at least close up once, so we'll have to see if that helps at all. But now we got a little bit of a mix-up up in that top 3.
Yeah, Luke Breitschoff has entered the chat. He power moved down past the 60 and the I believe that's the 13 there, up into that 2nd spot, and then just got hung out to dry there on the bottom side. So now he's going backwards here, as now Jack Painter in the 97 is coming through here. He will be alongside of Cole Freilich down the back straightaway, trying to contend for this lead now as the rest of the field scrambles to re-attack on this group of 2 here. As here comes Breitschoff once again, 3 wide, power move down to the inside. He will take the lead here as they come off of turn number 4.
Yeah, it's got this feel of the rubber band effect, where all of a sudden they kind of get spread out, and then everybody kind of closes back up together, and that gives you an opportunity to grab the lead back, pretty easy, just because everybody gets closed right back up together. Now you see it kind of feels like they start spreading apart maybe a little bit more, and then it takes just a straightaway or 2, especially when you get those leaders side by side. We saw Painter and Freilich side by side that last lap, and that really brought the 56 back in this.
56 all over the back bumper of Freilich. Now he dives down below, making the same move as he did last lap. You're going to park it right up in front of Cole Freilich. Freilich blinks out. I don't have him on screen. There he is down to the inside. So we stay green. Oh, contact in the back there. That's the 70 of Harry Grindell gets hard into the wall. Everyone else scatters to avoid any further danger. But Luke Breitschoff, power move up to the front, and this time he's going to hold it.
It'll be interesting to see that. Now this is where, it's kind of gets separated out, and now, can they get a run on Breitschoff here and see if Painter's going to look to the inside, going to maybe peek down there a little bit, but ultimately stay in line. It's going to be Freilich going to slide. Wow, I did not think he was clear, but he made it work, and he's going to grab the lead back.
I just visibly cringed as Cole Freilich threw it in there, down to the bottom, right across the 56's nose. Made it work, but now they're 3 wide going into turn number 1. Everyone else has caught back up. Freilich powers through the middle there, but here comes the 97 of Jack Painter on the outside. 3 wide down the back. Advantage Jack Painter in the 97.
Yeah, that's where that top lane really worked for Painter, as those guys were just kind of battling on the bottom. It gave him the opportunity just to sneak by on the outside and grab this lead here. It's swapping back and forth. I just looked up and like, oh, it's only lap 18. I imagine these drivers is so intense running this this style of pack racing, and always having to be on your toes because you don't know if somebody loses momentum in front of you. You just close up on them so fast.
The momentum does change in the blink of an eye in these cars here as Jack Painter leads Cole Freilich down the back straightaway. Now Isaac Johnson, Luke Breitschoff, and that's the 92 of Austin Mongold are 3 wide going down the back. They get that. Well, don't get it sorted out. They're still 3 wide as now the 51 of Tristan Baker taking the fight to Cole Freilich there on the inside. They'll be side by side off of turn number 2. Jack Painter dives down to the apron to try and cut the course and take the shortest way around, but Cole Freilich says not so fast. Side drafts up to the side of him. He's going to have the advantage going off into turn number 1.
See Freilich kind of almost drive up there and almost like take the air away from Painter, and it just brings, Kiani now is down on the bottom here, and that it seems like that basically saves the lead, keeps him the lead, but it doesn't ward off the rest of the drivers as they all go down to the bottom, and we're gonna have 3 wide. Oh, this isn't gonna work.
Breitschoff slams into Harry Grindell, who accordions into Jack Painter now, who has major damage and is electing to pull that car down onto pit road. We stay green, but this is pretty much ended. Well, we've got that competition caution there on lap 40, so if Painter can stay on the lead lap, he's still in with a shot here in this one, but that has absolutely destroyed this pack up here. Now it's Kiani leading the field with Freilich hot on his heels. Then they've got about a 10-car length advantage over Austin Mongold and Luke Breitschoff, and everyone else is single file back behind them.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen these cars kind of get separated because of that incident. Now with Kiani and Freilich, I think these, you see Mongold's already gaining ground, so I think it'll take a few laps to get them all kind of back up together, but I think that will happen. For Painter, he's back on track. It looks like he's going to get back out there, but he lost all of his ground to the main pack, but also to the legacy ARCA cars, and those guys. I think that if we go green here before that lap 40, this pack will probably catch them. So it might be a very interesting moment to see the 2 different packs kind of battling to try to, one to stay on the lead lap, the other one to control this race.
I think you're absolutely right. Ross, going down into turn number 1 is that pack of legacy cars. They're exiting turn 2 right now as the leaders are now entering turn number 1, so they are catching them and in a hurry. We're just past halfway in this first quote-unquote stage, if you will. So I think you're right. There will be inevitably some running up on of these older cars, and that'll be interesting to see. Michigan's a wide track. I believe everybody can handle it, but in the interest of time, as Kiani now, they're 3 wide there with Mongold down on the bottom, making it work on the apron. Kiani spins, saves it. They're still trying to get it sorted out there. Mongold ends up with the lead on this one. on this lap, Freilich and Kiani are still battling side by side on the other side.
It's just a matter of Kiani, I think, felt like he had enough momentum to at least battle with Freilich, but just, car's getting a little bit tighter. Now you've run 24 laps on these tires. As Freilich's going to try to go 3 wide here on the bottom. See if they can make this work down into 3 and 4. He's going to drive it down deep and take the lead back.
Move Cole Freilich back up into position number 1 as they're 4 wide, now 3 wide. Now Mongold ends up taking the 2nd place spot. They're still clustered up together for that 5th spot, as now here comes Isaac Johnson once again. Was at the tail end of the big pack here up at the front as, whoa, Brightshoff gets up into Freilich. They managed to save it, but that has halted any momentum that Cole Freilich has. He's dropping fast. If he can try and stay on the tail end of this front pack here that has accordion back together, he'll still be in it. But Freilich, a big moment for him. That, I mean, everybody else had to be looking at his door numbers coming off the corner.
And that Brightshoff has really kind of destroyed his front end, but Freilich looks okay. So I don't know if just where it hit was able to keep this going. And it seems like he's got, at least Freilich doesn't have much damage, where Brightshoff in the 56, he's in trouble. Definitely front end damage there. So I noticed Jack Painter, he came down and hit pit road. He got fresh tires, and he's been able to get away from this group. He was right in front of these guys, potentially going a lap down, and he's now pulled away, and he's working on passing some of the legacy cars. So definitely tires matter. Oh, it looked like Mongold maybe getting loose on the apron. I think he had it saved. Yep. Big
save there for Austin Mongold there, down on the apron, managed to get it saved. That's the thing with these the new ARCA cars here. When they get sideways, it's like holding a piece of plywood out your car door at 170 miles an hour. It just straightens back out, and it makes it really easy to save, as you've seen from these guys who've managed to keep it straight after some heavy contact at incredibly high speeds here at Michigan International Speedway. As now the 51 of Tristan Baker is looking to the inside of Isaac Johnson. He wants that lead now.
And they've kind of gotten single filed out here, which is going to work out, as now it's like Isaac Johnson's going to try to make a pass here for the lead, but they got legacy cars. They're starting to catch some of them. As the first one here is it's like Adam Harrington, I believe, and he's going to move up to the outside and give him room.
Ooh, he didn't give a whole lot of room to Cole Freilich there. Freilich just got by the 4-car by the skin of his teeth here, and now they're going to be 3 wide for the lead here, as Kiani's got the run down on the bottom, as Tristan Baker's holding serve outside. Isaac Johnson's the big loser in that. He will go back to 3rd, but now tries to power back around Kiani on the outside. The momentum changes in this race, Ross. You think they're going back, but then they're coming forward just as fast as they went back.
Yeah, now it seems like we've lost so much of the pack from the incidents that they've had. They kind of got separated, that it's kind of slowed the energy down a little bit. And I think ultimately, less cars that does that, and then also just being a little less on tires now too. So we've seen a lot of these drivers try to make a pass that maybe worked the first 10 laps, and in this last 10 laps, it's not really working. They're sliding up and even getting into each other, and that's where we've seen some of these incidents. So looks like Freilich's gotten to the back bumper. Johnson here is going to try to push him. He did down the backstretch, try to give him some momentum to get back up there and see if they can go battle with Baker.
Yeah, Baker's opened up a little bit of a gap here over this group of 4 or 5 cars now, as he flashes across the line to make it 30 of 80 completed here at Michigan International Speedway, as they run up on more lap traffic in the form of John Daniels, and with the 53 car of Griffin Jones. Now Baker's going to split them 3 wide. Isaac Johnson follows him through, gives him a big shot there to hopefully clear both of them in a single straightaway, as they will do. And now the rest of this pack is left to deal with them while they try to make their escape out of turn number 4.
Yeah, the 2 lap cars, it's entertaining for us, but Isaac Johnson almost got turned there by the 13 of Felber, but the lappers, split them, kind of, made the group have to try to pass through the middle, and a little intense moment trying to get through there. But Yeah, a little bit of bump drafting to get back up here. It looks like Kiani's going to try to make a pass on Isaac Johnson here. See if he can do that down the backstretch. Lose a little bit of ground to him.
Yep, 4 cars under a blanket here, all trying to run down Tristan Baker. They haven't quite caught him yet because every time they do, it seems like they get to racing again, and then Baker just opens it back up on him because they're 2 by 2, while Baker scampers away now and has got about 5, 6, 7 car lengths advantage that he is holding down that front straightaway as they head off into turn number 1.
See Kiani here. Another one of those moments where it's like earlier in the race you could drive into the corner deep. It was, oh, Isaac Johnson got the wall a little bit. You could drive in deep on the bottom if you're Kiani, and we'll see it again here, I think, but you just don't have as much momentum as you did earlier in the race, and ultimately you can't get by him, so then the tires get worn down. You just kind of push up. You see there he just gets by Freilich and is able to stay in front of him, but that car just wants to slowly drive up the racetrack with those older tires now that we've gone 32 laps on them.
Yeah, and you saw it out of turn number 4 there. That line of 4 cars, every single one of them drifted right up to that outside wall, and Freilich actually got a little bit of contact there out of the corner. So the tires definitely wearing here as now they pass the 5th and final legacy ARCA car of William Schmidt now, who Schmidt was definitely, I'd say, the favorite to try and upset the new gen ARCA cars tonight, but I don't see that happening with just the sheer pack power that these new cars have, as they will easily dispatch of him. And maybe Schmidt can try and hang on to this lead group, but that doesn't look like it. They've already opened up 5, 6, 7 car lengths.
You see Isaac Johnson had a little bit of a run on Baker, but ultimately just decided to keep it single file. I think that's probably a smart move if you don't have a big enough run. If you have a decent run, then maybe you could make a pass, but if it's not very big, you might want to just stay in line, as now Johnson's going to try it down on the bottom in 3 and 4.
Yep, throws it down there to that yellow line there on the bottom. Now he'll slide up with the lack of grip that he's gotten. Can't complete the pass like we were seeing earlier on. Tristan Baker holds serve in that outside lane. He will lead lap number 35. Make it 4 laps to go until we get a competition caution here on lap number 40, which I expect everybody's going to start racing pretty hard for, at least this pack of 5 here, to try and be the first one onto pit road and have that great track position when you get out of pit lane.
Yanni with another run here, going to look to the inside. Just don't think it's enough of a run to try to steal that lead. I think if you're a lot of these drivers, you're looking at it, it's 2 40-lap runs basically. This next run, you see what Baker's been able to do, and really what Freilich did the first half of this run, like be able to get up there and grab the lead and ultimately be able to control it, and Freilich now is going to have a chance here going 3 wide, but I don't think they have the tires right now for it as he kind of bails out of that. Kiani might get to the inside here on the backstretch.
Well, he's going to be up alongside here with help from Freilich behind him. The side draft, Tristan Baker trying to make it work. He won't make it work. So Kiani now to the lead and sole possession there on the bottom of the racetrack. Tristan Baker still holding that top side on outside of Cole Freilich to try and maintain position as best he can. Isaac Johnson elects to follow the 15 car down below. That should give the advantage to the 15 when they head off into turn number 1.
See if Kiani is able to hold this lead as well as Baker was able to. Freilich's going to get the wall a little bit in 1 and 2, and it's going to close them all up 3 wide for second here down the backstretch.
Yeah, now Nathan Kiani's the one who's scampered away from this group of 4 just animals going at it here down the back straightaway. Isaac Johnson, the 13 of, that's John Felber there, and Freilich and Baker all now just 4 cars underneath a blanket trying to get back to the 17 of Nathan Kiani with on lap number 38 of 40, only 2 laps to go before the competition caution.
So just looking through our Jack Painter was able to get those tires after his incident and stay on the lead lap here. He's just ahead of these drivers, and I think he's going to probably stay there for to the end of this run here and get back in this. Ultimately, have a chance to reset. So I don't think we're done with Jack Painter. He's going to have an opportunity. William Schmidt leading the legacy cars is, we're going to have a stack up with these guys battling for second. They're going to kind of let Kiani get away here as Freilich and Baker down at the bottom. It looks like got a pit stop here from John Felber.
John Felber electing to, well, this is an interesting strategy move, Ross, as you are a strategy expert in this booth. The 13, I mean, you can't blame him. The competition caution is coming out in 1 mile here as Kiani flashes down the back straightaway, so he's not going to have to pit for new tires and fuel when these guys come around to receive the caution flag. So that should put him in the lead here when they get going again.
He's spending a lot of time on pit road, though. I just was thinking, like, Painter was able to get back out there. It looks like Felber, spent a good 5 or 6 seconds longer than what Painter was able to do. So he's going to go a lap down here, it looks like.
It's going to be close.
You see it right there.
Looks like it. So that strategy move not panning out the way that he thought. A long pit stop for Felber there. 13.9 seconds, and that's going to put him in the lucky dog spot as we continue to wait for the caution that should be coming at any moment now.
Yeah, depending on when the caution comes out here, if you're Felber, maybe you can get up there. He's going to have a great run through 3 and 4 with those fresh tires, but I think he's going to want another lap. And
he's going to be trying, look at him, try and power up to the outside
of going to be close.
Tristan Baker there. Caution's out. He's not going to get it. So Nathan Kiani takes, quote, stage 1, if you will. And John Felber will be the recipient of the lucky dog. But the strategy move not quite working the way that he wanted to. Unfortunate. It was a bold move. I have to commend him for it.
So, yeah, now it's just a matter, I think your Painter, you pitted on lap 20, so you're probably going to have to come use your last set of tires. Because I think they have 2 sets in the pits here. So yeah, now it's just a matter of everybody comes and grabs their tires and then reset and try it again. I think a lot of these drivers know kind of what worked, what didn't, and it sounds like I heard, caught the end of it, but it sounds like the legacy cars are going to all of them are going to get a wave around. So it sounds like everybody's going to get a chance to at least be back on the lead lap if you're in those legacy cars. We'll have to see. I don't think they're going to battle with these guys in the new ARCA cars, but maybe we can check out their battle for best in class during the second stage.
Pace car collects the field now on the back straightaway. Pits will be open this time when they come around. As Kiani leads the field down into turn number 3 with the 13 of Felber behind him, Tristan Baker, Isaac Johnson there, rounding out your top 3. This has been fun to watch, Ross. I had my doubts, to be honest with you, because I couldn't remember how this new ARCA car drove, and I honestly expected the old ARCA cars to be a lot more, to be a bigger presence in this race. But this has been fun to watch, especially when the field gets spread out. It reminds me of, in any official iRacing session at Daytona or Talladega, at pretty much from the back straightaway forward on the last lap, where the entire field wrecks and it's 5 cars duking it out. That's exactly what this reminds me of, except it's been for 40 laps.
Sure. Yeah, you get that opportunity where that happens like 2 or 3 times a year, and then when you run those officials where you get through that wreck and you get to decide what you're gonna do, and you only have one chance at it. Which lane you're gonna pick and how you're gonna make a move. These guys are basically doing it every lap, and I think they're learning a bunch. So that way we'll see what they do this second run. Looks like Kiani's gonna be the first one off of pit road, first one on, first one off. That works. I think that there is a fast repair. So some of these drivers that had some, Reichkopf, who had the issue with the front end after contact with Freilich, he's going to be able to work on his car here and get back out there. So yeah, it kind of brings new life to everybody here. It's kind of a reset for them all to enjoy this great racing like you were talking about. Yep,
four races make up this midsummer series, if you will. We will be broadcasting the first 2 races, obviously, tonight, and then next week's race will be right here on Split Second Broadcasting. Race 3 is at Lime Rock. Will be unbroadcasted. That'll be an interesting one. I always liked stock cars at Lime Rock. The real life truck race that Fox did, and in the Craftsman Truck Series that was earlier this year. That was a great race to watch. I enjoyed the watching those big heavy cars try and wheel around that classic um, road course. So that'll be a good one. These guys are going to take these ARCA cars and go do that, and then the final race will be a dirt race run by in conjunction with I believe that's Gavarka. I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce that, and they do their own broadcast, so we will not be broadcasting the fourth and final race. You can catch all the action on their various broadcasting platforms. But yeah, nice little summer series here to fill the time in between their the OSRL major series, if you will.
Yeah, we'll see what got a handful of cars still down on pit road. I imagine we're gonna try to figure out a way to get like they said, it sounded like they're gonna wait till pit stops were all done, and then they're gonna give a wave around to the legacy cars, get them back on the lead lap, or I guess maybe that's already happened now that I see it. But the interesting part about this second run is going to be a little bit shorter because obviously we're running laps into the second run right now. This second kind of stage, as you were mentioning, for 40 laps. So maybe your tires not going to be as big of a deal because of that. I also think aggression's going to go up. There's more likelihood of an incident that maybe would bring out a yellow. So we'll see what that happens then. If any of these drivers would have some tires to maybe go use, or maybe they some strategy on that side. But I'd really love for one of these legacy cars to get up there just because you could potentially have a big wreck or something. But yeah, we'll have to check in on how those guys are battling. It looked like William Schmidt was kind of doing the best of the rest for that group, and we'll see that battle, who can win that group.
Field double files up now, and I think if you're going to expect a wreck, I think you're going to see it in these next 3 laps. While everybody's got the fresh rubber, everybody's packed back up together, and like we said, like you said, Ross, everybody knows what they can do, but they don't know what they can't do, or at least they haven't found the limit yet to bring out a yellow. So will we see some? Yeah, they have tried. Certainly have tried. Haven't done it yet. So will we see some even bigger moves when we get back under green here? I'm putting my money on yes, to be honest with you. So this will be very interesting to watch as the field creeps down the back straightaway here at Michigan International Speedway on the 1-to-go signal.
Yeah, Mongold, Grindel, and Breichkopf are all just leaving pit road, or they did just recently, and they're catching up to the back of this pack. You'll see them on the top of your screen here, going down the backstretch. Now they're going to have to get through the legacy cars. So those are 3 guys that I think all could potentially win this race. But they're going to have to navigate their way through the legacy cars before they get attached to the rest of the new ARCA cars that are up near the front here. So that'll be kind of interesting to see if they can do that.
Pace car dives onto pit road. Nathan Chiani has the field in his control with Tristan Baker to his outside. Green flag is back out. Cole Freilich with a big shot to the rear of that 17 car, as they will be well clear of the rest of this pack here when they get down into turn number 1, as the field is now splintered into 2 cars, then 4 cars, and then the rest.
Freilich pushed Chiani out and then jumps to the outside, the place to be, I think, and he's going to have momentum, and maybe even Tristan Baker pushing him through here. He's going to take the lead. Baker's going to go to second, and Chiani's just falling back. Third, fourth. He'll lose a couple spots here.
Yep, Chiani got hung out to dry there on the bottom side, which feels weird to say, but the momentum of that top side is what carried everyone else around him up there, and now Tristan Baker is to the lead now in front of Cole Freilich as they flash across the line for lap number 47 in this 80-lap event. Down in turn number 1 they go with Baker leading the way, and then just a mad scramble behind him as the 60, 97 of Jack Painter and Nathan Chiani, Isaac Johnson, they're all trying to scramble for these precious spots before the tires wear out.
Freilich's going to have a run here into 3 and 4, and this is where those tires are fresh enough that I think he can drive down there and just take the lead, slide up in front of Baker. Takes the lead back here. See if we get back to single file. Oh, Painter's gonna look to the inside, try to get third.
Can't quite get it done there as he heads off into turn number 1. Now he's going to power down to the inside. Jack Painter's going up for third. Now wants second here down on the inside of Tristan Baker. Not quite going to be clear now as Baker comes up around the outside with that move. But here comes the 13 of John Felber to help with a big push. And now they'll be 3 wide down in turn number 3. Felber wants some of this lead action here as he takes the fight to these guys up here in the top 3.
Yeah, 3x3 that's gonna turn one of them around. Looks like Painter's around.
Caution flag is out on the speedway. Jack Painter gets turned at high speed on the front straightaway, and we have our first yellow of the race. And I don't want to say that I told you so, Ross, but I told you so. As we go back and get a replay of it, and that's just 2 guys going for the same piece of real estate here down on the front straightaway as Painter's trying to. Oh, we got a bump from Isaac Johnson. Interesting.
There's a little bit of bump draft that ultimately just kind of, you don't have as much control at times, especially down this front stretch. There's some bumps on the front stretch here in Michigan. There's, you're still turning a little bit because of the, tri-oval here. So sometimes the car's a little hard to hold on to, and this is really kind of a slam, just a big bump there. And,
well, you expect him to hold on to it. These cars are pretty planted, as we've seen, as now the field runs up on the pace car. Bit of a moment there on the back straightaway, but a big bump from the 33 of Isaac Johnson sends Jack Painter spinning down to the inside grass, and caution is out for the first time in this evening.
I don't think this really does anything as far as strategy. If you have a set of tires you could use, I don't know, but I don't think so. I think most of them are just gonna race this one out here, but ultimately now this kind of is a nice reset for some of these drivers. I noticed like Harry Grindel and Breitschkopf, they I felt like they were gonna be able to, Mongold for instance, I thought those guys were gonna drive up there and get caught up to this back up to the main pack, but they really didn't. So now they're all 3 of them are back down on pit road. I almost wonder, there was a fast repair in this race. I wonder if they already used it and now they're working on additional damage or something, because they've all spent, during the break, they spent a good minute or so on pit road and had to get caught back up. Now they're all back down. So maybe a little bit more damage there than expected and having to work on it. And that's what's slowing them down. I really thought all 3 of them would have a chance to get back in this race. But we'll see. Maybe this caution here gets them the opportunity to fix the last bit of damage and get their speed back.
Well, they might not have elected to take that fast repair and
That's
try
true.
and save it for a Talladega style big one that could happen late in the event and take a couple other cars out that have used it. I like the strategy employed there. If that's indeed what has happened, I like that move.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking, the other side of the strategy too here is like if you're one of these drivers up near the front, you're keeping track position, but ultimately maybe just kind of, if people are getting a run, you just let them go, and then you're slowing down enough that you don't really get a run. You just stay within the group. Can you save a little bit of tire, and then the second half of this run go for the lead? I don't know. We'll see if there's any strategies to that. That's really your only choices. Otherwise, it's wide open and go for the lead. So we'll see what if any of these drivers are able to get something past us here that we're not thinking about with a little bit of tire and fast repair saving strategy.
Well, based on how we've seen these cars drive after a full tire and fuel run, if you will, it didn't look like anybody was really getting loose out of the corner. So I'm willing to bet money that they're burning the right fronts off more than anything, and the car's getting tight, as you saw them washing up out of out of turns 2 and 4, coming back onto the to the straightaways. So if you're gonna save tire, it's gonna be on entry and try and baby that right front through the middle of the corner and not burn it off, trying to keep it cranked as the rear wheels are pushing that front set of wheels that are turned just straight and shredding them. So that's how you're going to be able to save tires if there is any tire saving to be done. Honestly, like we said earlier, if you take a run, you've pretty much got to take it at this point, because the risk of losing all that momentum the risk of going backwards is a lot greater than the risk of not moving forwards, basically.
If you decide not to take a run, the guy behind you probably is, and they're gonna either pass you, which is not great, or worse, run in the back of you, which is even more not great. So yeah, I think that you almost have to take the runs when you can, just because it's about the safest spot to be in, because it's really you get to control where you're going.
Pace car dives onto pit lane here. Cole Freilich has the field in his control with Tristan Baker to his outside. Green flags up in the air. Once again, the bottom two on the inside get a great restart. Not as great as last time, but Madeline Roten follows Cole Freilich down through. They will move up into the second place spot as the field heads off into turn number 1. A little bit more scattered of a restart this time now as Freilich leads them off of turn number 2.
I think what I've seen from these restarts, we get a late restart. I think you want to be third in line there, because we've seen it with Roten being able to push Freilich out there and be sitting in second. Now Baker's gonna try to go for the lead, at least get side by side with Freilich here off of 4. But I really like that being in second once you get rolling.
Freilich has that outside rolling now as Baker starts to fall back after everyone else rips that top side. Here comes Roten now down to the inside, trying to make that bottom lane work, and they will slide up into the lead, move that 60 car up into the first position. Is now Isaac Johnson gets into the wall. He's trying to save it. The back doesn't make it work. Cautions out. Around goes the 33. I mean, you could have read a novel in the time that it took the 33 car to lose control of that one.
They saved it about 4 times, but also wrecked it about 4 times there. So, unfortunately, I had it a couple times. I think you saw everybody it was very interesting. It almost looked like, we'll have to see it here again. The whole pack was avoiding his car before he had actually wrecked. So, because they all saw that he was back and forth so many times trying to save it. It looked like everybody's swerving out of the way, thinking like he's about to wreck. They had so much time there.
We go high above in our chopper cam here. Contact from the 13 of Felber, and just trying to keep it saved. A whale of a job to at least make it as far as he did down the back straightaway. Because I mean, you said it, Ross. He had that thing saved and wrecked 4 different times.
Yeah, another guy that he's gotten on the wall a couple times, so I imagine he hasn't used the fast repair, so maybe still able to get back in this. Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen here. Inside, outside. Inside was the way to go.
Only the 33 of Isaac Johnson likes to come down and receive service under this pit cycle here. So it looks like everyone else has that damage repaired, Ross, like we were mentioning last caution.
Shout out to William Schmidt running 7th in the old car. Ultimately just kind of staying alive here and having a shot to maybe get up there and do something with these guys. I don't know. We'll see if something happens to the pack. Can he steal one and get that $5, right? Why not?
$5 to the winner of the race if they are driving a Legacy ARCA car, and William Schmidt doing his best there in the 7th spot, which is the best I believe we've seen of anybody in a Legacy ARCA car here tonight. with all the action that's happened, Ross, this is exactly what we talked about. This is the way that a legacy car wins this race. If all these other uh, next gen, or I said current gen, ARCA cars get into trouble, you're right there for the taking.
Well, you said you did bring it up. You know, the last lap at Daytona, where you have the big wreck, and next you know there's only 4 or 5 cars battling for it. Could the new ARCA cars have the big wreck, and the old legacy cars get through it, and they're the ones battling? I think there's a chance. Who knows on that last lap? You get some. You know, the way these guys have been racing, who knows what could happen, and they might be just far enough back to be able to just navigate the incident and steal something. So yeah, that might be kind of entertaining to see if that's possible on that final lap if we do get an incident.
24 laps to go this time. It'll be 23 when the field receives the green flag next time by. Madeline Roten controlling this field up here at the front. We'll have Cole Freilich starting to the outside. And Ross, I think the deeper that we get into this race, if we continue to have cautions, the more crazy it's going to get. Just because everybody's going to be up next to everybody with the checkered flag dangling in front of them like a carrot on a stick. I expect carnage as we get later into this event.
Another little interesting thing that we didn't really talk about during the break is we saw John Felber pit trying to flip the stage and kind of, you know, stop before the stage, win a lap down. He was able to get a free pass or wave around just with all the legacy cars as well. So he's back in this. He's back up to 5th here, and has, you know, just as good of tires, maybe about, you know, 1 lap less, which isn't too much of a worry. Another one is Shane Sweeney. We haven't really talked too much about Shane here, and now up to 6th here on this restart.
Some late moves coming from that 022 car and the 13 of John Felber trying to get back up in there after being a big name earlier on in this race. Pace car is down on the pit lane. Madeline Roten has the field in their control. Green flags back out, and now we get a nice and orderly start up here. They're going to be side by side for the lead when we get up into turn number 1.
Yeah, Freilich's going to be able to grab the lead back here, I think, and Kiani's going to have a big run down the backstretch, I imagine, and have nowhere to go other than to push Freilich here.
Roten dropping spots fast down on the bottom. Here comes Felber down up on the outside. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead. What a move. Felber and Kiani at the same time had the same notion. As now Felber's not going to have the run off the corner, and it's going to be the 17 and the 15 side by side across the line with Madeline Roten helping the 17 now across. Kiani leads that lap.
Yeah, it felt like Felber just had no momentum in 3 and 4 running the bottom. It just kind of killed all of his chance of going up there and grab the lead. Kiani's going to grab it now. With Freilich looking to the outside, he's going to have a run and an opportunity here on the outside entering 3.
Boy, look at him power it down in there on the outside and trying to bring Tristan Baker on through with him. Kiani, it looked like you might have been trying to save a little tire there. Tries to pop back in line in front of Roten, who has to check up. I mean, you saw the wiggle there out of the 60 car. Almost running all over the back bumper of the 17 car as they get it all sorted out. Now Roten attacks down to the inside. They will be side by side up off of turn number 4 as Roten can't quite complete the pass. Going to be a drag race. No, Kiani has the advantage down the back as now the 15 and the 51 are trying to make a breakaway here. But here comes Kiani with a big head of steam as Tristan Baker fires it down to the inside, trying to take the lead from Cole Freilich. He will complete that pass and lead this next lap as they flash across the line.
We see some of these drivers in the back. I was wondering, Breitschkop, Painter, Grindel, they're all kind of getting back up in here. So they must have, if they did have any damage, they probably got it all fixed either by the fast repair or by spending the time on pit road. And they're all back in this, and ultimately, you know, potentially even just with maybe just a little bit fresher tires too, if they were able to come down. This is really going to stack everybody up this run here.
Boy, the 15 and 51 had a big moment going down the back, and now the 17 of Nathan Kiani takes advantage, fires it down to the inside, and then has to slide up right next to Cole Freilich. Can't quite make the pass complete, as now the 51 of Tristan Baker stuck in a sucker hole there in the middle with no help, as everyone who is outside and inside has drafting help.
This is we saw this a little bit in that first run, where all of a sudden those moments where you get kind of spread out and then they rubber band back together, and right now they are all together. Freilich, the only one kind of able to take a breath right now out front. These guys are 3 and 4 wide mid-pack.
It had to be a quick breath. Here comes Tristan Baker down to the inside, desperately trying to get back out in front and control this race like he did in that first run, and get up there and try and wrap that top side. And Cole Freilich is holding serve up in the top lane to perfection here, as now Roten's going to push him down into turn number 1 and elects to follow and stay up there in that. Now takes a peek to the inside there on that middle lane, and they're going to be side by side down the back. Watch the run here that the 13 car is going to get.
It's just a matter of if the 13 is going to use it. I think going to push the 60 here to the lead. And ultimately, kind of be stuck on that bottom there where you have Baker and now Kiani kind of getting a run on the 13 here, and gonna, this is where they kind of bottle back up now down the front stretch. And now you got Isaac Johnson sneaking back up in there.
Isaac Johnson will not go away. Has been up, has been down, all the way at the back of this field, been spun around, and is now bringing the fight back up to the front of this field when the time is drawing near for the checkered flag. Now he's going to get a big run up on the outside and get right to the back bumper of Roten and push that car out to the lead, as Freilich is now left to contend with the likes of Jack Painter. There is now, and then tries to take the fight back to Isaac Johnson. Now they'll be side by side when they come back across the stripe. Roten controls this lap number 65, 15 laps to go.
Johnson tried to get to the outside of the 60 and was able to do it, but got the wall a little bit. Kind of slowed his momentum down. Ultimately going to have another chance here to run down the backstretch. They've kind of gotten away here, and Johnson again trying to save it down the backstretch.
That 33 car has had a whale of a time with that car down the back straightaways. Look at the move that Cole Freilich got. Oh my goodness. Now he's up in the wall there. Roten's going to try and save it. They've all got it saved here. Here comes Baker down to the inside. Look at the run that the 92 of Austin Mongold has right through the middle of the racetrack, and now he will try and contend for this lead. They're going to be 3 wide when they get up into turn number 1.
Yeah, Mongold has been kind of just quietly this run here, just been kind of right in the back of the pack, kind of waiting, slowly using the top lane and letting the drivers make mistakes to get all the way back up here to second, and going to have a chance here with Freilich, maybe going to stay in line. But I don't know, Isaac Johnson, he definitely got a little bit of damage there on the front stretch, but ultimately still rolling here, as Painter's going to be to his outside, Baker to his inside.
Freilich now opening up a 4-car length advantage over Austin Mongold and the rest of this snarling pack, who now have a big run. Now that advantage went away in a hurry. Here comes Mongold down on the inside, trying to get up alongside Freilich, has to slide up and get out of it, and now here comes Jack Painter with a run to the outside. Now Mongold tries to block, doors him down the back straightaway, but here comes that 97 right up to the back bumper of the leader.
I've seen Freilich not afraid to use the bottom and 3 and 4, and it seems to work. Painter's been able to, he's going to have a little bit of momentum on here, but not a crazy amount, nothing that, would maybe get him a chance to challenge for the lead. He decides not to, going to push Freilich down into 1 and 2.
Ooh, got that 15 car a little loose right on corner entry. That can be something that the 97 can use later on in this event if it comes to it now, as he tries to track the 15 back down on this back straightaway. Look at the run that he gets pulled right up to that back bumper. Little bit of a tap to let him know, hey, I'm back here already. Don't forget about me. These two guys, definitely ones to watch. Certainly ones to watch in the OSRL Premier Series, and they are putting on a show here in the late going in this summer ARCA series.
I kind of wonder if you get to a point where you're Painter here, do you feel like you want to set up your spot. We've seen drivers make a pass, towards the front and lose all momentum, and the next thing you know, they fall back 5 or 6 spots. You see, remember we had Mongold up there not long ago, and now looking, all the way back to 7th. So if you're one of these drivers, we got a spin.
That's the 13. Felber spins down to the inside of the track and go into the grass, brings it back up. Can he keep it straight? No, he spins around. Caution is out on lap number 69, now 70. What do we do now, Ross?
That's definitely going to just pack everybody up here and give them a chance to reset. I don't know. I think I was reading it was 2 sets of tires. So do they have another set? I'm not. That might mean 2 sets, as in you only have 1 set. It looks like
I'm showing 3 sets in the race. So if it's 1 set on the car when they start. Everybody took their first set on lap number 40. So everybody should have, or at least the leaders should have, 1 set left in the pits, and I have to imagine they'll be coming to get that fresh rubber this time.
Well, and I think Painter, Mongold, Isaac Johnson, Breitschkopf, they all, Harry Grindel, they've all pitted since lap 50. So do they already, have they already taken their tires? Looks like Freilich thought about staying out, then ultimately pulls in, and looks like it's going to bring everybody down.
Everybody will elect to come down and receive service. Nobody stays out on the racetrack all the way back to John Felber in 17th spot.
Really hoping one of those legacy cars would stay out and just make their car as wide as possible. No, I'm just kidding.
That would be something to watch, wouldn't it? Trying to watch one of those. We talked about it at the top of the show. You can't bump in those cars like you can in these. So trying to block at Michigan International Speedway with one of those cars, whoa, buddy, good luck. Is all I have to say about that.
Isaac Johnson was first off pit road. He was barely in his pit stall, so I don't know if that was just gas only, or I doubt it was enough for right side tires. Meanwhile, Jack Painter also a 33-second pit stop, where most everybody else was 38 or 39. So he obviously did something different there, whether it was 2 tires or just gas only. So this 33 and the 97 out here, they're going to be just on a little different strategy as far as definitely for tires. So we'll see.
Yeah, based on my timing, Isaac Johnson only took fuel. That was a 3.3 second stop. You don't get tires in that time. Jack Painter's stop was 8.7 seconds. That indicates to me right sides only.
Sure. Yep. So we'll see what that does to these guys. I think you want to have a chance at the lead here, of course. Like that's great. I think both of these guys, maybe it's just a matter of not having. I guess Painter, if you're taking right sides, you probably have lefts, but I think really any of these drivers can win this from wherever they're at in this pack. If as long as you're in a new ARCA car, I think you got a great shot.
A great shot to get put in the danger zone here is it's going to be a 8-lap shootout when we receive the green flag this time, as Isaac Johnson and Jack Painter will now lead the field to green when we get back around here. If something goes sideways, those legacy cars are in a pretty good spot to not be in it.
So, I mean, just based on what we've seen tonight, I'm thinking here, just looking at this restart, we've seen Freilich restart from that spot, that 3rd spot, many times tonight, and every time push that leader out and just kind of drive away, and even jump to the outside to take the lead from that 3rd spot. So I really like that move, and I think he's sizing up to do that. But that 33, we've seen many times it gets a push. He's all over the place. So who knows? This is going to be I mean, that's the two. You got probably the one car that's been all over the place when getting pushed, or at least even by himself, he's had some moments in that 33 with no tires here, and then fresh tires with Freilich, who's been pushing from that spot all night. So I think that's going to be the action here on this restart. We'll see if Painter and Baker up on the outside can at least stay with these two down at the bottom.
The stoppable force meets a very movable object in the 33 of Isaac Johnson and the 15 of Cole Freelich, they will be hooked up together on that inside. How will they fare here as the pace car has dived onto pit road? Isaac Johnson has the field in his control, looking for the green flag. There it is, and Freilich's not on his back bumper. He's still got an advantage over top of Jack Painter in that outside. But here comes Freelich now to try and tuck back up to the 33's bumper as they head off into turn number 1.
I think Freelich just really didn't time that one as well as he has most of the other night. It's gonna. No, I thought he was gonna give him second. No, he's gonna have a chance at the lead, but I think the guys on the top here are just well organized, and Painter's gonna push Johnson back out to the lead.
I mean, he shoved him, if anything, back out to that lead there. So now Johnson leads the field into turn number 1. Painter's second. Freelich is left to contend with the 51 of Tristan Baker out of turn number 4. Tight moment there. Coming up there is now Jack Painter. Contact into the wall. 4. Kiani's trying to make it 5 wide for the lead now. 7 laps to go in this one. Freelich down on the bottom. Looks like he's going to have the advantage. No, they're going to be still side by side. 3 wide. Johnson up top trying to put the squeeze on him. Contact happens. Johnson up into the wall. Big wreck. This is it. This is it. Ross, the field is in it. Caution is out on the speedway. Heavy contact for the 33 of Isaac Johnson. His night is inevitably done.
Yeah, some pretty both Isaac Johnson, Tristan Baker probably getting the worst of it. Jack Painter is now in the lead, but he's got significant damage. It looks like Painter's falling back here. I guess I was looking at an update. He's a little farther back now. It's Freelich still in the lead with Kiani in second, but that just ultimately I thought Isaac Johnson, he got the wall and that just killed his momentum, and the drivers behind him just had nowhere to go as far as where trying to pass because they were all 2 and 3 wide, just with that massive run that they get off the corner.
As we go back and try to fetch a replay here, 3 wide off of turn number 4, or rather turn number 2. Sorry, leads to carnage on this in the closing laps of this event. As you look, and Freelich squeezed up into Baker, and then it was, oh my goodness, contact. Baker ends up in the outside wall facing backwards, and then the hits just kept on coming for Isaac Johnson. He couldn't catch a break. Only 8 cars remain on the racetrack. Everyone else has to come down and repair damage. As we ride on board with one of the legacy cars who was way back there, and then hook right, or rather hook left from Isaac Johnson. Nowhere to go.
And this is gonna, you talked about it, we even had a handful of those legacy cars get in that incident just because they all were packed up from the last restart. But we also have a couple that got through. William Schmidt, John Daniels, they're both in this as far as up in the top 6 here on this restart. So a couple of wild rides for a handful of these drivers.
Yeah, we're going to restart with a couple of these legacy cars. I mean, William Schmidt's going to be in the 5th spot restarting in this race, and those legacy cars have been able to hang on at bare minimum to this field for about 5 laps or so on these restarts before they really drop off the back end of the field. So I expect at least Schmidt and Daniels to put up a good fight coming to the checkers here. Gonna be interesting to watch, Ross, as we've hit the 5 to go signal.
Yeah, and I don't know, if any of these guys up front, most of them I think got through it no problem, but could potentially have a little bit of damage just because it seemed like a lot of them were in it, or at least part of that. I guess most of Freelich, Kiani, they kind of were past it by the time Johnson was in the wall. But yeah, it's just can these 4 up front battle it out and survive each other to combat the legacy cars that are trying to steal it here. So I kind of was like, well, there's a a 5% chance that those guys have even a chance to do this, but I guess we're in that opportunity. Who knows? If you get to that last lap and an incident happens with those leaders, which I think is very likely, they're gonna have a shot. So we'll see if and who knows? Yeah, if they stay together, could potentially a couple of them getting together ultimately lose them a little bit of ground. I don't know. We'll see if you also got a handful of the newer ARCA cars right behind Schmidt and Daniels here, so they're going to be probably pretty strong. I think Sweeney, Felber, Grindel all here. I think they all have a shot to potentially get through them and try to get up with this front four.
Fralick leads the field through turn number 3. When we get back to the stripe, it's going to be 3 laps, a 3-lap shootout to decide it here at Michigan International Speedway in race number 1 of the OSRL ARCA Summer Series. Pace car, hard left-hand turn down onto the pit road. Cole Fralick looking for that green flag here. Green flag is up in the air. Fralick and Roten both get away with a really good restart. Left Kiani standing up there. Kiani will fall back to the 3rd place position. They're going to be single file now for the first 3 spots, but behind them it's mayhem as William Schmidt is now trying to go for 4th.
Early on, those cars can stay together, and ultimately, if you can stay in the draft, I think keep your power up as these front 3 are played a little bit of bumper tag there down the backstretch, but ultimately kind of stay in single file here. Maybe set each other up here. Coming to 2 to go.
John Daniels gets turned in the back of the pack there. We stay green. Everybody keeps it straight. Who to go this time now for Cole Fralick is now here comes Madeline Roten down on the inside, bombing it down into the inside lane, trying to and here comes Fralick with the crossover now. They're going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Kiani elects to go with Fralick now. And here comes the 56 of Luke Breitschoff as well. A mad scramble for the first position here as they fire off into turn number 1 here.
Kiani's going to pull alongside Fralick. That's going to probably slow them down a little bit and let these 3rd, 4th, and 5th place drivers have a chance at him.
Trying to eliminate the side draft by getting away from each other. Now they accordion back together down into turn number 1 for the final time. White flag is out. Kiani has the advantage. Here comes Madeline Roten on the inside as Breitschoff and Fralick got together now. Here comes the 22 of Shane Sweeney, who we haven't talked about all night long, trying to make it happen now on the last lap. Contact for the 13 car up into the outside wall. Big crash there off of turn number 3. Here comes Kiani. Does he have anything for Fralick to try and block him all the way down to the apron? Blocks low, blocks high. Nathan Kiani will win the first race of the ARCA Summer Series at Michigan International Speedway. What a race.
And Fralick got to the bumper and decided to give Kiani the push across the line. It was a little bit too much of a push, but ultimately I think that was about as close as he could get. I think if Fralick had just a little bit more momentum, he maybe would have had a chance to pull along Kiani there. But that was I saw Sweeney now up to 3rd in the end. Had just a great run down the backstretch. Had to go all the way down to the apron, and that kind of just pulled the rest of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place drivers back a little bit. And I think that kind of gave Kiani the win and gave him the opportunity to kind of get away a little bit through 3 and 4. And by the time Fralick had any momentum to get back to him, just really couldn't. So, Nathan Kiani going to bring this home with a little bit of damage in the end on the final lap, but it's going to bring this home a winner tonight.
Well, if you don't bring it home with battle scars, did you really win? That's a job well done from Nathan Kiani to hold off a hard-charging Cole Fralick there at the end of this one. And there goes the engine. I don't even know if he's going to be able to do burnouts here as the engine is expired on that 17 car. Trying to limp it home to try and do some celebratory burnouts down in the grass here at Michigan International Speedway.
Park in victory lane. That works, right?
That's a perfect way to end it. That's exactly where you want to be. we'll go ahead and get our interviews started here with our third place driver on the night, Shane Sweeney in the 22 car. Shane, it's Brittle and the boys up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, gotcha.
Man, you had an up and down night. We barely mentioned your name, to be honest with you, throughout the first part of this race. I mean, just lying there at the back. Take us through your night, and then obviously the huge run there at the end. We called it, I mean, an absolute power move down to the inside to claim all those positions at the end. How did you get it done to bring it home for a third place spot tonight?
Yeah, kind of hanging out there at the end was the plan. I was gonna try and take it at least just to the halfway break, just sit around and kind of treat it like a super speedway race and just go test everything and go from there. So then towards the end, I just kind of said screw it and went to the inside, and I knew it could kind of work, but I'd have to get a little bit of help from the guys on the outside to fight, and I got that, and I was hoping Cole was going to try and get a better run and try and fight, and I could maybe get a shot at the win, but I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, certainly an impressive effort there. Freilich didn't quite do what you wanted to, but it still brought you into the third place position, which gets you up here in the booth with us, which is honestly the real victory. So,
Yeah.
Congratulations once again. What do you think about this ARCA series? Obviously, not a whole lot of cars in this one, but still a fun race all around here. Having that old car in there too, throwing a little bit of screwball in there. What are your thoughts on the format and the series and what we've got to look forward to next week?
Yeah, I had a blast. I think the intermediate's a little tough for a split like this because you got to kind of figure out on the fly what works for the old car and what doesn't. So it just sucks they weren't really with us the whole way, besides Will kind of hanging on the restarts. But up front, it was a blast. It was kind of just a mini Talladega up there with the power being down a little bit. So that definitely helped kind of pack everyone up. So
yeah, I think that's a great way to describe it. Is basically a mini Talladega. Watching you guys accordion away from each other and then back together, it provided great action all night long. Shane, before we let you go, enjoy your third place finish. Do you have anybody to thank for your awesome run tonight?
yeah, let's thank I guess everyone around me for keeping it clean for the most part until the end, and let me for the most part avoid the wrecks besides the second to last one where I got tagged. But luckily no damage, and we were able to keep it going. So
All right, Shane. Well, thank you for talking to us, and go enjoy your third place finish, buddy, and we'll see you next week.
yeah, appreciate it. See you guys.
See if we can grab Cole Freilich. Cole, you got a copy?
Hello.
Just wanted to chat with you. Second place ultimately came up a little bit short in the end. Just gave Kiani a little bit of push there, but what happened on that last lap to ultimately get you where you just came up a little bit short?
Yeah, I just kind of got abandoned help-wise. Everybody, Madeline and Kiani and Luke were all working together there, and I kind of had no help. My help kind of slightly got killed when I accidentally kind of slightly wrecked Tristan. And so, yeah, my help ended up in the air upside down, so I pretty much didn't have much help after that. I was hoping – I saw Shane back there get a run. I was hoping he would go top. I think had he actually pushed me there, we would have maybe pulled even with Kiani there. But, yeah, I mean, all in all, I stayed up front most of the race, so I was pretty happy with it. I feel like any practice at draft racing is good for me. So, yeah, just trying to keep the mind sharp when it comes time for Daytona.
Yeah, we saw multiple times tonight where basically, you guys were able to drive it in deep into the corner and take the lead over, and we saw you do that many times along with drivers up front. But then as like the run got going, there was a lot of times where the tires would kind of go away and you guys couldn't do that. Like, how hard was it to like understand over that 40 lap run on both ends, even though there was some cautions on the second one, to know like how much the car would change and ultimately the style of racing would almost change a little bit?
I mean, honestly, handling wise for me, it didn't really feel too much different. I did notice that like it just kind of the bottom would not work as well as it did, but I mean, you could still generate momentum enough to pass a car. you just need a little bit of help there. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it really just kind of felt the same for me, which I burnt my right front up, so I was kind of shocked that it felt as good as it did after that first run. But yeah, that first run, I actually tires were not the concern because I almost actually ran it out of fuel. And whenever we pitted, I was literally out of gas, just coasting it. So, yeah, I mean, the tires, they held on a lot better than I thought they would. I honestly thought after about 5 laps, we'd be plowing into the wall.
Well, we'll give you a chance to wrap up the interview with an opportunity to thank anyone or any shout outs. Top 3 gets the chance to grab the spotlight here. Go right ahead.
Just want to thank Simrat Market, Pagona Racing Insurance, Merck Co., Encore Consignments, Hooligans, Sports Bar and Grill, Kart Chaser, and CFME Sports Misery Motor Club, as well as JRI, which is Johnson Racing Industries. That's why me and Isaac Johnson are teammates in this league. And yeah, thanks to Griffin and Jack putting this deal on. I know it's a little different with Oates not running the show and anything anymore, so it's kind of cool to see the birth of hopefully a new series. I'm really hoping this one takes off because I think there's a lot of promise. And Griffin sent me a preliminary schedule and it looks really good. So hopefully we get some more cars and get a lot of good drivers and just have some fun.
Sounds good. We'll be watching. Thanks, Cole.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And last but certainly not least, we'll bring in our race winner tonight, Nathan Kiani. It's Brittle and the boys up in the booth. Got a copy?
Sir, I do.
Well, congratulations, sir, on your win. What a move to take that lead and hold off a hard-charging Cole Fralick and Shane Sweeney. Pretty much the entire field you had to hold off because everybody was coming with a run of steam that these cars would generate. How did you do it, and how were you able to hold them off?
Well, first off, I got to thank Luke Breitschopf in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch car for giving me a hell of a push. I mean, he was working with me well all day, man, and he gave me that big shot into turn 1, and I just had to send it, and he tried loosening me and moving me up the track in the middle of 1 and 2, and it just stuck for me, and I just used the momentum to get off 2. And honestly, from there on, it was just trying to block the runs, and we did, and it crashed across the line. It's a crazy way to win, but just want to thank everyone at Madeline Roan and Civic Organization Racing for giving me a fast car today. Yorkdale Ford, everyone at the Ford Motor Company. Good, it feels good to get this win, that's for sure.
Well, you certainly sounds like it, man, and we're glad you're enjoying it. You were pretty much up front, a top contender for almost the entire 80 laps of this one. Were you saving it all at any given point, or was it just going all out and letting the chips fall where they will?
It was pretty much going all out. I knew I had a fast repair to spare, and I actually drove pretty much from like lap 30 onwards with toe damage. Like the right front toe was knocked in a little bit, but it actually helped the steering of the car. And honestly, man, it was just balls to the walls. I mean, whatever happened, and I was lucky enough to avoid all the wrecks and just be up there at the end, and that's what happened. Got us the W.
Yeah, we've got your pass for the win displaying on the screen right now here. Big moves out of the 17 car to get that victory and close the deal here in Michigan. Next week, though, we go to the complete opposite end of the spectrum there with South Boston, 150 laps there. What are you looking forward to that, to going to the short track after winning, clinching the checkered flag here at the big 2-miler?
Honestly, yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, we got a good short track program going at COR, and everyone's been working hard, and we're getting ready for South Boston. It's honestly one of my better tracks. And I think we'll have a good shot at the victory here. And it's going to be interesting because I think that the old steel body cars are going to be a lot more competitive there than they were here. So a lot of different variable into everything. But overall, I'm feeling pretty confident going in.
Well, we'll see you next week, and we certainly hope to see you there. I like the attitude, and I like the energy. Nathan, before we let you go, do you have anybody to thank for your awesome run tonight?
Like I said, Luke Breitschopf, Madeline Roan, everybody at COR, Yorkdale Ford Motor Company, everyone who gave me this opportunity, Chris Schaefer, I mean, everyone who made this possible. Thank you all so much.
Well, Nathan, thanks for talking to us, and congratulations once again on your win. Now go enjoy it, and we will see you next week at South Boston.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that'll wrap up our interviews for your top 3 finishers as we get close to wrapping up our show here. Ross, final thoughts from Michigan.
Yeah, I was just looking at the results here, and just kind of we talked about our 3 top 3 finishers. Madeline Roten coming home 4th, Tristan Baker 5th. For HCOP, we talked about some of these drivers. Mongold, they all had some moments where they had some big damage, but able to survive and get back up into the top 10. But then you talk about the old ARCA cars with William Schmidt, Mo Perry, ultimately coming home 7th and 9th. I think they'll take that for how far back they were during that first stage. And Griffin Jones finishing up 10th.
Rounding out your race leaderboard here, Trey Patton comes home in the 11th spot. Jack Painter 12th, Harry Grindell 13th, John Daniels 14th, John Felber 15th, Adam Harrington 16th, and Isaac Johnson, who was such a big mover all night long, had so much promise and then wound up with heavy contact in that last big crash. He will finish in the 17th and final position. That'll just about wrap it up here from all of us at Split Second Broadcasting. I've been Hunter Brittle alongside Ross Brockman in the booth, Jeff Johnson behind the scenes doing our producing. So we thank him once again for putting this on. This has been race number 1 of the OSRL Summer ARCA Series. We will see you next week, same bat time, same bat channel, for race number 2. Good night.